Hello there folks, I just wanted to do a quick review on this 8BitDo Pro 3 controller, which is for Switch, Android and Windows. I am personally somebody who, if I'm buying a controller or really any piece of tech, I really scour over YouTube and written reviews to really find out what people are thinking of it, if it's the kind of thing I want, because for controllers especially, there is so many out there and it gets really overwhelming and the prices are all over the place, and I'm somebody who really correlates price to quality sometimes, so it can be a bit of a faff. So just wanted to try and hopefully help someone out who's looking at this controller and help see if it's right for them. So let's crack into it. So just having a first look here, the build of the controller is actually really nice. I'm a really big fan of the matte plastic, so there's no risk of fingerprints or anything showing up on here. The sticks are a TMR design, which is, I believe, the newest technology being used in analog sticks, which helps prevent things like stick drift and just makes them more responsive. The face buttons are a generous size, which I'm a fan of, and the start and select feel really just like the actual Super Nintendo ones with a nice little bit of mush to them. The D-pad I'm a big fan of. I've used this for a few games, 2D platformers and some Metroidvanias. I've not used it for fighting games because that's not my kind of thing, so I couldn't say if it's great for them, but I know some people can be very specific about those. The little button in the middle there is for selecting which group of macros we're using, and then we've got even more buttons on the top and the back here. So you will see that there's 3 buttons on the top on each side. The smaller little square one is one of the buttons available for your macros or remapping. So those are really nice because they are actually really easy to access when you're holding it. And then we also have these wee ones just on the back there, which again sit really naturally where your fingers do, which is really lovely. And then this switch on the back here is how we determine what it's connecting to, whether that's to a Switch, PC or phone. And then we've got some trigger locks there as well, which I absolutely love. Always love these on a controller. I've actually installed some on my Xbox Series controllers for when I was trying to get good at Halo, but these ones feel so lovely. Like the triggers alone are really nice, feel really soft, good amount of movement on them, but it feels really nice, like mouse clicky when you switch these over. It's so nice. One of the little accessories that comes with the controller is these little joystick add-ons. So the caps just pull off really easily, and you get 2 of these. I'm just putting the one on here, and they, I guess, are meant to mimic like old arcade machines. So you would maybe put both on and then like lay the controller down, like, and I don't know what you'd use it for. They feel hilarious, if nothing else. I would never use these in a million years, but it's a nice little gimmick. But I love the colour because it perfectly matches the GameCube controller, whereas the other colour schemes will match alongside the theme that they're on. But I really love how true to form and close it is to the actual official GameCube controller. I'm a huge fan of the Spice Orange. So the other thing that comes in the box is this dock, and this comes with every model. This isn't an add-on or anything, this just comes as the base kit, but each one comes in matching colour with the one that you choose, and they're really nice. Again, very high build quality, but really highly functional as well. You've got this really nice little grip at the bottom just to make sure it doesn't slide around. We've got a USB port at the back for easily plugging into whatever you're using to charge it, and it just fits so nice and snugly in there. Like, it just, you can sit it anywhere and it just slides right into place, and it just looks really nice. It's easy to sit up there. So if we open up the panel on the bottom, we will find a few more little accessories in here. So we've got spare buttons, which are magnetically connected to the bottom. And then we also have this 2.4 gigahertz dongle, which is a really nice addition because that plugs in inside the dock And then by plugging the dock in, you have access to use that dongle through there, which is really nice. I'm not 100% sure why you would take the dongle out personally. I certainly haven't. But that's a really nice feature, so that's what I use to connect to the PC. And then once I'm done, I can just pop it on charge, which is great. Even if I'm using it connected to the Switch, it's still plugged into my PC and then charges when I'm done with it, which is nice. One funny little feature this has is you can replace the buttons. Now, I believe that it comes with colours matching that of the original SNES controller if you want to make it match, which is a nice cute idea. I know some people have felt a little bit funny about it because there's kind of fear of the buttons just falling out. They are incredibly secure, at least on my model, and I've not had any issues having them fall out. It's taken quite a bit of effort for me to get them out without the little tool that comes. I don't think there's any issue worrying about that, because before I got it I was worried that that would have been an issue, that I take it out my bag one day and suddenly there's buttons missing. It's incredibly secure in there. The magnets that are involved are very strong. Certainly had no issues whatsoever with that. It is a strange feature. It's not something I'm really fussed about. Like, would I rather that not be there? Probably. I'm not sure exactly who was asking for that, but it's there, so. And you can see how much of a faff it was for me to actually get them out. I may as well cover, just while I'm evidently struggling with the buttons, is the battery life on the controller has been fairly impressive so far. I definitely go, if I'm going for an absolute session of playing, it definitely lasts a couple of days, I'd say. Which is good. It is obviously a new controller and battery life degrades over time, but I'm fairly happy with what I've gotten so far. I don't have any trouble like I do with some of my older controllers where I need to leave them in for a while before they do anything, like it activates straight away even when it's fully out of charge, so really great on that front. This here is the software that allows us to edit the controller. So you can see here I've already got some pre-made ones, but we'll have a quick look in, and then the options up the top show what it is that we're adjusting. So this here is for mapping different buttons. The extra buttons, the two extra shoulder ones and the back ones are highlighted here, and clicking on them allows us to just choose any input to add that to that button. We've also got our macros, which admittedly is why I got this controller in the first place. And as you can see from the options I have here, these are all for Legends EA. I actually got this controller just so I could shiny hunt, but ended up falling in love with it for all of its features. It allows you to edit your stick, dead zone sensitivity. It does allow you to invert stuff on here as well, which I will never do in my entire life, but it's nice that there's an option there. Allows for some customization with the triggers and their sensitivity as well. And then the level of vibration if that's something that you want to turn down from bass. I'll admit I haven't customized too much on mine's, but I really like that the options are there. It's definitely not all for me, but there's definitely somebody out there who wants to have these options. I'm just going to show here some of the macros in action. Using Pokemon Legends EA, which I've mostly been using it for. So the lights down here show which profile it is that you're using. You can have up to 4 macros set to each one. So this is mostly what I've been doing, is I've pressed that one button that is assigned to pop the controller down, and then it just keeps flying me to the same area over and over again, which in turn resets the roll for all the Pokemon in that area to consistently just keep re-rolling to try and get me a shiny. Some people may find that to be morally grey, I don't know, but honestly, I'm in my 30s, I do not have the time anymore to sit soft resetting my copy of Pokemon Heart Gold and reset 16,000 times for a shiny Heracross. I'm sorry, those days are over. There's a few different ones I have on here. This is one of the ones for running a little bit away and running back, and that also resets better for certain areas. I need to actually write down what they're all for because I consistently forget, but alas. But yeah, let's actually go have a little peek and see if we've got anything, because I did have this running for about 40 minutes or so. And as you can see, there's a few shinies that have turned up over that time, which is very nice. Usually I'll set this up before bed or when I go to work, and then I come back and do this essentially. Unfortunately on this run, still no shiny Gibble, which is why I'm in this area. I think I have the shinies for everything else. I'm doing a shiny living dex on this because the shiny hunting is so easy. And I used a macro as well to get myself the shiny charm, which I would not have done otherwise. This was before the DLC came out, which made it a bit easier, so I had to do the 1000 battles, and my roommate actually did them all manually, but I can't do that, man. I can't do that. Okay, so this here is the official Switch 2 Pro controller. I got this on release day, and it is a fantastic controller, and while it may feel a little bit pointless to have both of these, I'm glad I have them both because it makes for a much better comparison and able to advise on which one is maybe worth it. You can hear here the official Pro controller is very quiet when you press it. Any of the buttons, it makes almost no noise. The sticks especially are gorgeous. I've never felt sticks like the ones on the Switch 2 Pro controller. They are insane. The buttons are big, they feel nice, everything feels nice, the weight of it's gorgeous, the plastic on it's really nice, and I love it, I really do. I still use this really regularly. It's a very good controller, and it's especially good if you are somebody who prefers the stick layout. I'd say that's the most prominent difference, because we have here on the 8BitDo, it's more of a PlayStation style where both of the analog sticks are down towards the bottom. You can also hear there is quite a difference in sound. That Switch 2 controller, you're not really getting much from it, but when I'm pressing buttons on the 8BitDo, it is clicky, it is very responsive, and that might not be something you like, it might be something you prefer. It might not be the best for late night gaming, especially when you've got those clicky triggers on, but it still feels incredible. I'd say that's probably its biggest downfall, is the noise that it makes, which for me isn't actually a factor, and also the fact that these don't currently wake up the Switch 2. I believe there was an update that changed this for the 8BitDo, but now I believe the most recent Switch 2 update, while I'm recording this, has made it so that that's no longer possible. Alright, so in conclusion, this is a fantastic controller. It's really versatile. It can be used for your PC, it can be used for your Switch 2 as well, and you can use it for if you play games on Android as well, which is really great. You've got the ability to use macros, which can be really big for certain games, especially currently Pokemon ZA is a big one. I'll admit I've not got any obvious other examples in my head which that's good for, but I think it's a really nice feature to have there. Maybe something on Animal Crossing or something, just like for mundane farming stuff, but also you've got the trigger switches on the back, which makes it really versatile for shooting games, as well as makes it great for driving games when you've got them turned off. For its price, it's great. The build's fantastic on it. It's a little bit fiddly, is one thing that would say is definitely a negative to it. It took me a little while checking some YouTube videos, getting everything set up. It can be a little bit funny. I do struggle sometimes when I'm going between consoles on it. Sometimes I'm using it on my Switch 2, or if I am doing the macros for Pokemon, I use my old Switch Lite so I can still play games. And it can be a bit of a pain when I'm trying to connect it to one or the other. Usually I end up having to do it by plugging it directly into the Switch, which isn't the end of the world by any means, but it is a little bit annoying, you know? But yeah, incredibly versatile. It feels great. And some people will just really prefer the configuration of the sticks. I know that's been huge for some friends that I've had round. They immediately jump to it because they play exclusively PlayStation 5 these days, so their thumbs are just in the correct configuration. It just feels a lot more at home. So if you're somebody that's maybe just picked up a Switch 2 and you're looking to get yourself a bit more of a proper traditional controller rather than just use the Joy-Cons, this is definitely a possibility, I would say. Yeah, honestly, I really love it. I really, really do. I do find I still probably evenly use my Switch 2 Pro controller as well. However, this is not a versatile controller at all. It works for Switch, it works for Switch 2, and that's all it's going to do. But I think this is by far the best thing doing it, because this is one of the best controllers I've ever had my hands on. You have the addition of that C button if that's something you're really fussed about. The gyro on it's great, sticks are great. I love this thing with all my heart. What I would say is that I owned this first, and I bought the 8BitDo afterwards for its extra features. If I already had this 8BitDo controller, I would feel like I had no reason to pick this up. I would be so happy with this one already. The benefits that this one gives me really are luxury, but I'm not playing any more games, or I'm not playing any games better, and I'm not really getting any extra functionality. So I think that's something to consider. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer. If you're just going to be playing Switch 2, definitely think about a Pro controller, but does the price really even out? They are expensive. Most of Nintendo's first party hardware is right now, which is why I think 8BitDo is also an incredible option. If you do decide to go down the third party route and go for 8BitDo, they have a whole host of other controllers, which I am not nearly well versed enough to actually go into about any of. I've only used this one. I know they do one that's quite similar to that Pro controller, but it's not one I've used, so I can't really say anything. But the stick configuration's the same as like Xbox and the Switch 2 Pro pad. But yeah, I hope this was of some use. I wasn't really here to answer a question definitely, just to give a little bit of insight in one of the options that's out there, and obviously I have hands-on experience with the Pro pad, which is maybe the two things you might have been considering between. So hopefully it was useful. If not, you clicked on the video, so you know. But anyway, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next one if I do another one.